final project, PowerPoint by Cali Mathis, Michele, Panasy, and Julianna Peterson. What is total communication? Deaf Studies. Total communication is an educational and communicative philosophy that combines a variety of communication methods depending on the particular needs of the deaf individual. These methods include sign language, speech, lip reading, written language, gestures, and facial expressions. Instead of prioritizing one method over another, total communication allows the use of multiple methods. Total communication supports the wide range of deaf individuals, including those with different levels of hearing loss, language skills, and cognitive abilities. Positive impacts on developing deaf individuals. Deaf Studies. Total communication allows for a variety of communication methods to be used since not all deaf individuals use sign language. Total communication can support early and effective language development, which is important for young deaf children. With total communication, deaf individuals can easily connect with both deaf and hearing communities. In a typical sign language only or speech only setting, misunderstandings can happen due to language barriers or limitations in one modality. By using multiple communication forms, deaf individuals are more likely to limit these misunderstandings. Why is total communication controversial? While total communication is meant to offer a more inclusive way of communication, it can have negative effects on deaf individuals. Deaf children who grow up with total communication might not have the same level of access to the deaf community as those who are raised with sign language as their primary form of communication. Deaf individuals raised with total communication might experience identity confusion, being caught between the deaf community and the hearing world. Language is important for cognitive development, and the lack of a fully functional language system can delay a child's cognitive and social development.
What is total communication for deaf education? Total communication is beliefs of educating children with hearing loss that includes all means of communication. This can include formal signs, natural gestures, finger spelling, body language, lip reading, and speech. In many deaf education settings in schools, all means of communications are developed and encouraged. Language is in the form of speech and sign language, but students are encouraged to use any form of communication that works best for them. There are a couple of things that help with total communication. This can be identifying and supporting a child's chosen form of communication, motivating the child with reasons to communicate, and practicing or creating opportunities for the child to communicate. Impacts on developing deaf individuals for deaf education. Total communication encourages a variety of communication methods. This way of communication is specific to the needs of each child, and their chosen method can be combined or changed. Total communication can improve the child's social interaction skills with other students or teachers. Using total communication methods other than sign language helps interactions with hearing teachers or students. It can improve frustrations and behavioral problems with language barriers. This method can also help children in school understand and communicate societal language better.
Okay, so total communication in general refers to encouraging multiple uses of communication. So there's definitely pros and cons to using total communication. It is kind of a controversial topic within the community on whether total communication hinders or promotes language development. According to Handspeak, the use of English and ASL at home is the same as using two spoken languages, which makes sense, they are both languages. So the use of ASL and English is very beneficial. For interpreters, they'll play a key role in language development if a child decides to use ASL and spoken English, which are the main two choices when it comes to total communication. Obviously, there are other options, such as if you are blind, deaf, etc., blind, deaf, etc. So total communication impacts deaf individuals in different ways. Some may grow to prefer ASL over spoken English and vice versa. However, total communication just gives you a opportunity to explore different communication options and choose which one you prefer. And for interpreters, they are being able to work with individuals in a preferred language will help promote language development. So according to Panasy, total communication and simultaneous communication are mixed up as the same idea. Simultaneous communication is the use of two languages at the same time, for example, American Sign Language and spoken English. And in the deaf community, it's kind of frowned upon because when you're using SimCom, it's discouraged because ASL and English have two different sentence structures, so it's not effective to use them at the same time. And then another reason why SimCom is discouraged is because language is normally one is stronger than the other. For example, if you're using sign language and English, your sign is stronger, however, your English is weaker. So, and this can hinder language development during critical times of deaf children's lives, according to Handspeak. And total communication is just being able to use different communication methods such as ASL and English, and this method is encouraged because it promotes language development. According to Hands and Voices, total communication, especially in a classroom setting, can depends on the teacher. So depending on the teacher's preference, it will impact the student's choices, specifically in the classroom. So interpreters will have to rely heavily on what the teacher chooses, and interpreters can also advocate for the student's preferred method. And total communication is just used to provide, again, a choice for interpreters. Interpreters in schools can work with students to practice ASL while they have other resources in order to practice their English. And overall, I agree with the use of total communication just because it is amazing. People get to choose what they want. They get to go and see different options, see if they prefer ASL, see if they prefer spoken English. And it's all about having a choice in total communication, which is what I like. And you can switch up if you don't have to stick to one, or you can just stick to your preferred method, and that's done. So that's all I have.